All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and my distinguished panelists. I'm really fortunate and honored to be invited and to be able to sit with all of you. So, Mr. Smadja, what you've asked me is quite loaded, but I'm going to do my best to answer it because I'm passionate about it. So, you have already given some context to my experience. I lead 3 small and medium enterprises, SMEs, and in the service sector in Singapore. So, what I will share is basically it is easy for SMEs. For instance, in Singapore, by the way, SMEs employ 70% of the workforce. So it is easy for SMEs to get left behind in such large digital transformations and decarbonization goals and agendas. So what exactly are we doing? How are we collaborating with different initiatives? So that is where how I'm going to answer my question. I'm also going to try and structure my question into 3 C's, so that you can remember them, and I'm going to try and give you some real-life concrete examples, all right? So the first C, collective collaboration. You've heard this from everyone so far, that C word, collective collaboration. So our industry is very vast. It is built on very tight-knit and good relationships, but it is very fragmented. Everybody works in their silos and everybody works really hard, but we have to come together to collaborate, to have knowledge-based platforms, much like the one we are sitting in right now, to basically come together, discuss ideas, collaborate on various different initiatives as well. So in Singapore, we prioritize having a very strong public-private partnership. So Sinoda and our other companies, we are very well placed, and we are very strongly volunteering on this front as well. So, for instance, Singapore Shipping Association, for which I'm a council member, we have about 500 members. And we regularly interact with them and get their feedback and present it to our regulator, the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore. And what this helps is it allows for policy initiatives to not be too far off from what are the ground realities. This is very important for SMEs as well. For instance, in Singapore, we are trying to electrify the entire harbor. All the harbor crafts are going to be electrified by even 2030. So what does that mean? There are so many smaller companies. How are we going to get them to electrify? We have to basically bring them into a room, ask for their problems, and suggest solutions and develop solutions with some of the companies over here as well, actually. We also have a very strong innovation ecosystem. So, for instance, we have a program called Pier 71. I am not sure if you've heard of it, but it is an incubator and accelerator program in the maritime industry that is a collaboration between the National University of Singapore and the Maritime and Port Authority, what I've just mentioned is our regulator. This is very powerful, and I'm privileged to be a mentor on that. So what we do as SMEs as well is we can provide problem statements. So what happens then is basically researchers or people who are from outside of the industry, for instance, even agriculture or aerospace, they come in and they help to solve our current situation, solve our problems with solutions that they may already have. So this multidisciplinary thinking is required to solve the challenges of the future. We do not have the knowledge required to solve current challenges. We have to adapt from different industries as well. Now the second C, commitment to digitalization, all right? We see a revolutionary digital transformation happening. We see people making great strides. We have some blue and green corridors even with Singapore and Rotterdam. But what does that mean for SMEs? We are usually solution takers. We don't initiate change. So what can we do? So, for instance, even with the Singapore Shipping Association, we have a digital transformation committee. So we have come up with, alongside PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, we have come up with a plan to do a digitization roadmap. So what we do is we empower SMEs, much like ours, to come into a room, get the frameworks required, the knowledge required to develop our own digital roadmap. Actually, the 3rd session of that is happening right now as I speak. So my brother is representing me and I'm here, proudly here. So this is very important. We have to empower SMEs with the information we already have from the different facets of larger companies or different enterprises. Being able to digitize also means we can revolutionize and we can change the design of current traditional jobs. For instance, now you have to go into office to do operations. Even a crane operator obviously has to go up a crane, but it's not required for so many different reasons if you digitize. And what that means actually is you increase accessibility, diversity, and you can actually get differently abled people to come back in to the workforce. You can empower them to come back in. Third C, capacity building. Now, in Singapore, we face a very strong talent shortage, okay? It is both for seagoing jobs and even for shore-based jobs. So actually, in my capacity as the IMO Goodwill Maritime Ambassador, I work very closely with the different agencies in Singapore to basically advocate for the industry. So we have a Singapore Maritime Foundation, which comes together and it brings industry stakeholders to participate in what is called the Maritime One program. That has scholarships, and it offers internships and job opportunities to young students. And they don't necessarily have to be studying in a maritime stream. In fact, many of the ones we have taken are data scientists, they are researchers, because these fields are required now to basically amalgamate the information from there and then develop the solutions of the future. As I said, we need multidisciplinary thinking, ways of thinking. But I also want to say something that is very close to my heart, and to close off, capacity building also means women, okay? Unfortunately, our industry is sadly lacking the women participation quite badly. It is estimated about 2% of females are seafarers, and maybe shore jobs, I couldn't find very clear statistics, but everything hovered around 3%, which is quite abysmal. And many studies, far too many for me to name over here, so please come find me if you need more statistics. Far too many studies suggest that having women on your team, on your leadership board, it accelerates innovation and profits. So it's a win-win situation. And why I'm saying all of this is because diversity, of course, in all its forms, increases innovation, and we need innovation now. That is what we need to develop the solutions of the future. And it's good for countries as well. Some studies have estimated that 10% increase in, sorry, I've lost my statistic because I have so many over here. But a 10% increase in women representation increases 3.5% of GDP for a country as well. So I just want to drive home the point that if we do capacity building, let's be intentional about bringing women as well. Let's do reskilling, job redesign, upskilling, all of these things to please bring a very valuable part of the workforce back into the industry. So with that, I conclude my 3 Cs: collective collaboration, commitment to digitization, and capacity building. Thank you.